So hello guys. So that is the part two of the Deloitte interview experience for Frontend role for 7 year of experience. So that is continuation of part one. So if anyone not visit or see the part one, so please go thought the part one video and gain some experience and jump into the part two video. So let's start with that. So, so I like to share my screen and show you the continuation of that. Okay. So we are in the fifth question, right? So not wasting time and start with the fifth question. Let's open with the compiler. So you can see so I explain you the which of the like priority is first, right? So based on that we showing that, right? So what was the highest priority? Highest priority always D at console, and lowest and after that that synchronous one function will run, right? So that will print A, right? So then await function call, right? So it will print as a C, right? And after that, that console will run like that E1. So output would be E, and after that B, right? So that will again console run and it will print B. So that is the format of output. Let's see in that screen after running that code, right? D A C E B, right? So that is the logic, right? So you need to understand that logic, right? So first it will run at console at D1, right? With then asynchronous call function call, then it will print A, right? Then after that synchronous to console at C, because asynchronous is the async function that does not return any promises, right? So that will not return any promises, that because it is async function, right? It actually return a promise resolved with undefined, right? Then await for the promise resolve, but since it is micro the rest is synchronous. A is queued as a micro task, right? So and then continuous synchronous with the console.log. Now if Microsoft task queue the rest of the asynchronous one function, it will print last in B. Okay. So that is the format, right? You understood that point, right? So let's jump into the next question, sixth one. So that is part of the constructor scope, right? So you second. So you can see uh, we have const a is equal to 1, right? Then we have test function. Inside the test function we a is equal to 2 and return the new function a, right? So here we test the constructor of a scope, right? The function constructor create a function in the global scope, right? It does not capture the local scope of the test, right? So then the function create a new function, return function, it will look for the global scope which is the a, right? So it will look as the global scope, right? It will not capture the local scope of the test, right? So output would be 1, right? So return of the function it get in the local global return, therefore return is a. Okay, so object when synchronous, then output is the right to any a is not defined something return. Okay, let's what was the issue in that? Let's check with that. So we need to understand why it will return. Hmm, right, so a reference error, right? So a is not defined because of that, right? Function test, right? A is considered, right? So it will give error because it will not get a scope, right? To fix that issue, right? So two is ignored due to this. This is the concept, right? So to fix that, you need to make that function is arrow function. So it will give you the value of 2 because arrow function take that value, right? 2. Uh, that is not a global scope. So if you uh, pass any value inside the there, right? So it will take argument 2 as well, right? And if you return something, if you print, but if I because con A has the global scope, right? So how to do that, right? So here you need to make return new function. Right? So then it will run. Bytes given the array because new function does not lexical scope, it has a global scope. So it will give the array error. That's why it will giving the error. So because of that, it will not get Okay, I think we need to print as back back strict. Okay, back strict we need to take na. So I think something is missing in that function. Return new function. Okay, okay, yeah. That function has a clause. It will not take that will not capture the constant variable. That's why it will give the A is not defined. So you have global scope. So, mm, yeah, you need to define as a unit because it will not define. You get that. So you need to remove that one. Then it will print as right. A is not defined because that is like A is not in the scope, right? So you need to make that arrow function and to print that value A, right? Then it will give you to error. Otherwise, it will give you the compiler. So that is the reason. Let's jump into the next question. So you can see there is four options, right? It will give the reference error. Right? So let's jump into the next question in the same question. So there is some constant, some symbol is equal to key, right? Inside the constant we have some value, right, and another. So you need to print that value and guess the output. Yeah. So what was the object of sum? Object of sum, that is the value, right? And what was the length of the object? So objects on access property with the symbol which is the value, right? So there get value another and the second one get another, right? That the object of sum and the length would be one. Let's check that value and another length would be one, right? Because object key the length, right? Because it will only return string key, right? It will return only the string key, right? Only return is in the so sum include, hence the length is one, right? So let's jump into the next question. Seven I will cover. So if you have any doubt, now let me know in the comment section. So I happy to help you. So that is the very good question, right? We have one handler, right? So when so you need to guess the output, like object.x, right? When you access the object.x, right, proxy get trapped into the call, right? Get trapped. So it would be a target prop into two, right? So this one, like let's say prop is one, right? So two, one into two, it will give you one, like two, right? So however, the trap does not use or reflect directly access the target property, right? But we wait for the property not a number, then it will get not a number. Okay? So output is equal to 2, right? So new output, but given code using the target prop is original object, so not the process on they, so no recursion is there. So it will not call again and again. So therefore the output would be 2. Right? So you need to understand the concept, what was the happen here, right? And how it's work. So let's jump into the ninth question. So how is no recursion is there? So you need to understand the concept, all the concept. So that you can see the class A, right? Static method return A, right? So class B extend class A, right? Static method return the super method B, right? Console.log. So you need to guess the output. So first of all, you can see the static method are inherit the extend B, right? Inherit which refer method A, right? Method A return A, right? Which concat with B, right? Concat with B. So answer would be A and B, right? Understand? And you can say that is a simple question they ask, but you need to know the inherent property, how the concat is work, right? So let's jump into the next question. That is a good question, right? You need to understand the begin, right? So right, one, one and plus two. Begin cannot mix with number, right? So first we'll show the type error, right? And loose equality between big int number is allowed, so they equal. So second will print as a true, right? And there is a stick operator, so big int are different, so it will give you false. So that will give the error. mm, that will, because it will allow, then it will true, that will give you false. Mm, you can see that will give you error, right? So because it will execute line by line, so we need to make the comment, right? It will give you error, right? So if you comment that one and run that one, okay, so it will give you true, right? If you run that one, it will give you false, right? So you understand that concept, right? Let's jump into the next question. That is the 11th question. So that is very good question. multiple interview I they will ask, right? So that is basically optional chaining with knowledge, right? So optional chaining, you need to understand what was that, right? So you can see in we have object inside the level one is null, right? So object exists, level two null, right? So here you can see the concept, right? So level 2 is null, right? Object level 1, level 2 exit, right? Since until the operation chaining is written undefined, right? The second line, right, chaining default. So however the node second line does not use the optional, right? It's same line without the first option chaining, right? Without optional chain, but have anyway we have the object dot label, right? And object dot label the key one, right? Key pair. So therefore both output have take default. So I think both of uh, so let's run and check default we get, right? Both output. Let's jump into the next question. So my plan is I make into the three part, right? So you are also not a poor, right? You can easily see each video. So complete the 15 and rest I have covered in the part 3 part, right? So stay tuned and please, if you really like my effort and question answer and explain something, so please do like and subscribe of my channel. So that will very motivation for me and I make like similar kind of video. So please do like and comment in that video. So let's see what was that output for that. Remove that one code. So here you can see we have array, right? So that when array don't have any value, right? Uh, Three total length was three, right? So you need to guess the output of that. So array is sparse, right? So index one has one value, index zero has one value, index one has empty, index three. So index 3 is empty, index 4 is empty, index 5 has 5 value. So it will reduce only the processes exiting element. So it will process 0, 2 and 5, right? So it will start with 0, right? So 0 plus it will add 1, right? Right? So it will goes to 1 in for index 0, right? I tell you 1, right? And 0 1 plus 3, right? It will goes to 4, and uh, and 4 plus next iteration would be 5, so it will goes to index 5 is equal to 9. So final answer would be 9. right? First start with 0, right? So 0 plus 1 and plus 1 plus 3, right, is equal to 4, and 4 plus 5, 4 plus 5 is equal to 9, right? So final output is be 9. And what was the length of that, right? The So here you can see total what was the length, index 0 to 5, 6 length, na? So 6, 6, right? So you understand or not? So I simplify that. Index, index wise, index, index 0 is 1, right? And 1 is equal to empty, empty, there is no element. 2, index 2 is equal to 3, in 3, index 3 is equal to empty, hmm, index 4 is empty, hmm, index 5 is equal to 5, right? So you can see index 1 is equal to 1, 0, sorry, that is 0, right? 0 is equal to 1, 1 is equal to empty, and 2, index 2 has 3, index 3 has empty, index 4 has 4 has empty, and index 5 has a 5, right? So you can see that the logic, right? So first 0 plus 1, right? It will a reducer will run 0 plus, start with 0, na? So 1, na? So it will print 1, 1 plus 3, it will consider only the element 1 and 3, 4, and 4 plus index 5, because index 5 has whichever value has, right, it will consider only that, right, 9. So it will print to 9 and 6, length is 6, 9 and 6, right? Understood that point. So you can practice that, that is very question, right? This has multiple use. Let's jump into the next question. So what was the output of that? So we have function of this, right? Length property of function indicate the number of parameter before the first one revolve. So here you can see fn, right? The parameter before the first default value, which is b, right? Ra. So fn length is 1. That length is 1, right? And in the second, we have a spread operator, right? Parameter that rest is not counted, so it will also length is equal to 1. So both that will keep 1. one. Let's run one and then one output, right? So you understand that part, right? Let's jump into the next question. So that is a little bit tricky question. So you need to understand with none, not a number, right? So not a number object in is this, right? So unlike which return false for an n compared with none, right? So that will be, so you can see there's two property is there, right? Object is none, return is true, right? Object is none, return true, unlike whichever you have like false or something, not a compare number, right? So first will be the true and second zero. So object is 0 and minus 0, return false, unlike which I return 0 and true, right? So which return true, right? So it will return false. It will and empty return false is same as because they have different object, right? So it will also has a false. So first will return true, both are false, which return false not a compare to none. So number will not compare to none, right? You cannot compare with that, right? So it will true and both are false. True, false, false. Right. So let's jump into the 15 question. That is also a generator function. So that is a little bit tricky question. So let's go to that. So we have generator function where we did try and catch block, right? So you need to gauge the output. You can stop the scan and gauge the output. Meanwhile, explain the thing. So first is G dot next, right? So generator ILD, right? Value 1 and then false, right? And G dot return 4, right? This cause the generator value go to finally block while ILD, right? And log finally no generator is not closing any because of finally block, right? So first will give you gen dot next na, that is value 1 and done false, right? And this is because g dot next 4, this is generator being written, so it will enter finally block and L3, finally block L3, so it will return the method which have written 3, right? And false, done, right? And G dot next, the generator continuously in the final block, and now it will console the finally, right? And next it will block close and return the value 4 and done because it will return, right? So output would be that will be value 1 and done. Right, and second one will be finally block, it will going, so it false, and next one it will take 4, and after that it will complete, and the final value is true 4, right? Because both log object, right? So what happened in the last makes the generator continuous the final block. Now it will return the finally next call, and value 4 will be printed, right? Because g dot next, right, value 1 is done false, right? And here we return false 4, right? So that will be print, right? You can see, right, value 1 finally, yeah, right? So that is the concept. So finally is the log model. Yeah, so like that one. Let's jump into the next question. It would be 16, right? So it will goes to next video part 3. So stay tuned with that latest update. Okay? So thank you for watching, and please like subscribe, and good, I also upload in the next session part 3, so you can see where we also cover the angular part. Yeah, thank you.